welcome to the Brook Trout Homestead.
Today we're going to be just doing a second year update on what we've been doing here in the garden. So why don't you come with us and we'll give you a tour real quick.
Okay guys, so what you see here is a patch we made for our corn and squash on each side. That raised bed over there has rosemary and some teddy bear sunflowers, and the back right there that's one of our elderberry bushes. This year we planned on literally planting everywhere that we can. We're trying to fit everything in our small space, and as well as companion planting. And with companion planting, the squash should prevent some of the weeds from the corn. And we also plan on growing a few beans here so the beans can climb the corn.
All right, so here we have some potatoes that we planted in the ground. We just wanted to try this method out to see if it would work well for us. Also behind us, we have another bin that we built, kind of like a raised bed. We have potatoes and garlic in here as well. As you can tell, the potatoes are doing really well. This was just pretty much some dirt that we threw in here with some compost and just left it there over time, and it became actually a really good bed for us. So we're really excited about this. This is our first year to do potatoes. If you watched our previous video, we did have a whole nother bed area that we were going to do it in, but come to find out it wasn't full sun, so it wasn't going to work out for us. So we actually ended up moving the potatoes over to here. Over here we have another elderberry bush that we're trying to grow. We're hoping that it does well. Last year I chopped it down with a weed eater, so we're trying to let it grow back. I just wasn't paying attention. And then we also have blackberry bushes that we're looking at working on, seeing hopefully they do well this year as well.
Hey guys, so this is our tomato patch. Our tomato seedlings did not do good this year. We used a really bad mix. We tried something new and it didn't work. But I was able to get some seedlings from a local gardener here. Right back here, there's Scarlet Sage. It grew right back. I pruned it a little bit and it's coming right back. It came out so beautiful and it works so well in this climate in Texas. All sages usually. So we're gonna keep that there, and hopefully I can propagate them and put them around the area. Here our tomatoes didn't do so well, so we're probably gonna plant some beans or something, or even more tomatoes that I buy starts from. There's nothing wrong with buying starts, especially if you've tried your best and they didn't work out. Gardening is all about trial and error. You know, sometimes you do good, sometimes you don't. It happens. Sometimes some produce works out, some doesn't. It's all about fun.
All right, so we actually ended up moving the kids' garden bed. We normally had it on the other side of our yard, but we ended up moving it to this side here because once again, it's just better for us to keep it watered. But the good thing is we put it here so we can attract pollinators, bees, butterflies, you know, anything like that. It attracts them here so it can help pollinate the rest of our garden. As you can tell, cinder blocks, compost, a little bit of flowers, mulch. Very simple, very easy method to build a garden bed for your kids.
Right here is my famous bean trellis that I've created. I've never done a trellis before that actually held things properly, so I wanted to make sure they were nice and sturdy. So there's three things going on here. I'm still waiting on our peas to grow. I actually planted these right after the freeze here in Texas. So they're a little slower, but they're doing great, and I'm so excited. Even if I just harvest one pea, I will be happy. Over here, we haven't planted anything yet, but this is what I'm planning to plant 4 okra plants. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Last year, our okra did really good, and I was super excited. So this year, I'm doubling what I planted last year. I only planted 2, I'm doing 4. A lot of people in my house don't like okra. I rather just picking it right off the vine. So honestly, this is honestly going to be one of the garden snacks, kind of like our beans and our peas. You just pick it off, pull it out, snack on it. Okay guys, so this mound, if you've been following our channel, you know that this mound started out us pulling turf and creating a mountain. We were supposed to move this like 2 springs ago, but we ended up keeping it here. And I actually like what it's turned out to be. It has some wild clover and wildflowers here that kind of just stay maintained in this little area because we mulched the outside. And it attracts bees right in the beginning of the season, and I love that because when I see these flowers, that's telling me spring is coming, and spring is here, praise the Lord, and they're still going really well. The bees love them, so we keep them. Not every weed is something we need to pull out of our garden. Now if it's Bermuda, yeah, get that out of there because this backing method will not work with Bermuda. You got to keep pulling. Make sure you can even do it before you even start the mulching. Here in the middle, what I did was I added some butternut squash. Like I said, I wanted to take hold of every area that I can to grow more produce. This garden is going to be something that's not only feeding us, it's going to feed some of our friends, and we're going to start canning and preserving. So it's very important to grow as much as you can. And I am a huge fan of squash, summer and winter squash. Winter squash because it can last all winter up to the next season, and that's a huge goal for us. We want to be able to be eating good squash all year round. Here in this garden bed, I'm not going to talk too much about it, but it's a bit of everything. I have onions, the first time we've ever done bulb onions, so I'm super excited. Everything is nice and mulched. These are onions that are lasting 3 years. I have some zinnias, I have bee balm, oregano that I keep chopping down and it just flourishes. I've been debating on taking it out of my raised bed so it doesn't take over, but I don't know, it looks cool. I might just leave it. I might be a sucker for oregano. Some radishes, I got some kale in there. We got bits and pieces of a little bit of everything that can go in a small space. Okay, so we're in our middle bed. This is actually my favorite bed right now. Not much is going on, but at the same time, a whole lot is going on. We just started our first asparagus, and we started them with crowns, and they are doing amazing. We won't be harvesting until year 3. These are year 1 asparagus, and once year 3 hits and we harvest, these things can last up to 20 years. We have a lot of Swiss chard. This variety is the green variety. It comes back every single year, and it comes back with vengeance. I mean, it is awesome. We pull them out for the rabbits, for our salads, tacos. I have some really nice lettuce starts. My starts didn't do too well this year, so I got those again from Bobby's Seeds, his seed starts. He's a local gardener here. Here we have more chard, and we have cilantro. We even have some chamomile that came back, which I'm super excited about. Chamomile is not only beautiful in the garden, it doesn't just attract pollinators, it is great for tea, and I love it. And I put it in my skincare. It's awesome for you. German chamomile. Welcome to the garlic and onion forest. Oh, and this huge thing right here is oregano. Remember I told you it gets huge? Well, yeah, I ended up planting 2 different kinds of oregano, one in this bed and the other bed. And like I said, I just keep cutting it and I give it away. I replant it somewhere else. Oregano it's tough. It's a tough crop, but guess what? Your entire family will be enjoying it for a very long time. Under this cover, we have our peppers, and it is covered because peppers like heat, and we want them to be nice and strong and ready to come out during the Texas sun. So they'll probably be in here probably for another week or 2, and then we'll uncover them. More peas! These are little marvel peas. These actually withstood the Texas freeze. I had this whole thing covered, and I'm actually excited, but they're growing a little slower because of it, but it's okay. I'm super excited. Like I said, 1 pea is totally fine with me. I actually went ahead and intercropped some potatoes in the middle row that are actually growing pretty well. I'll probably cover them with a little bit more mulch and just see what they do. Why not? I had room in the garden. Let's just throw potatoes down.
So another favorite snack of the house that we have here in the garden is long beans. That's what this is. We tried it for our first time last year. We did a wonderful job with it. We really enjoyed it. The kids loved eating them. So we planted quite a bit this year along here. She purchased this netting trellising system, I believe, off Amazon. I think it's a good feature for what we're going to do here. We may have to end up extending it depending on how viney the long beans get and how wide they get. We may end up possibly adding to it, but we're excited about these. Also behind me over here is, of course, our glorious Wildflower Garden. This is the very first bed that we actually really started here in our backyard, and it's just evolved over time. She's put so much flowers into this thing to, again, attract the pollinators. That's very important for a garden, making sure that that's going. And personally, I just love it. I think it looks really awesome having this over here. And if you can look here, you see the tarp that I have on the ground. The reason why that is because this past year we've noticed that there was a lot of weeds growing up under the grass or through the mulch. So we put the tarp on the ground to just pretty much kill the weeds and hopefully take them out.
So here I planted broccoli and some calendula. We love calendula, another favorite for tea and skincare. Broccoli because I wanted to kind of attract different pests to the broccoli so they don't go to the other side of the garden. We like broccoli, but we have to plant way more than this to get enough broccoli for our family. So why not just put it there and allow some of the bugs to take hold of that instead of the other stuff that we eat more. Right here we have some strawberries. This is their second year, so I'm super excited to get some yummy red berries. They already are flowering, so we should get some soon. I have some more potatoes. Like I told you, I've been just putting potatoes everywhere, but these actually are pretty cool because I threw my compost down and they started producing. So I just went ahead and hilled them, so I'm so excited to see what's going to be under them very soon. Right here we have some Sweet William flowers, some echinacea, some zinnias, calendula, bee balm, oregano, rosemary, thyme. I put it all here because I just want it to grow really big and to look really beautiful. This is my garden, so I'm going to just throw things everywhere. You may be a little bit more organized than I am, but if you know me in person, sometimes I just want to party right in our garden, just here, here, here. And you know what? I want to grow enough to where I can separate some of these plants and I can be able to share them with friends and family. And if you haven't noticed, we have a new cat. Her name is Yo-Yo. She lived under our shed. We rehomed her brother, but she ended up just sticking to us. So in case you didn't know, this is Yo-Yo, and you'll see her in a lot of our videos because she loves to be in the garden. If you haven't noticed, we have a hoop area. 2 trellises, we're gonna add 1 more here. We're gonna grow tromboncino squash this year, some Armenian cucumbers, butternut squash, things like that that like to vine. And I'm going to totally work with the trellis this year. So we're gonna see how good that goes. We're gonna keep you updated on that. We're super excited. God has blessed us with such an abundance that I just have so much faith that it's gonna go really, really well. And I highly recommend, if you live in the Texas area, try out Armenian cucumbers, try out tromboncino squash, also called trombone squash. They're really good for our area apparently. So go ahead, show them in this week. You still have time. We want to thank you so much for coming to our garden with us and watching us progress. Go look at the first video we ever made, I ever made, just holding the camera. Our garden has changed so much and we're so thankful for like just everything. So I hope that we can encourage you to get a garden started in your yard, even if it's something small, like something in containers like tomatoes or peppers or beans, something prolific but small. As long as you're trying to work toward growing your own organic food, I think you're a winner in my book.
Well, y'all have a good day. God bless, and we'll see y'all next time.
See ya.